What's going on, guys? C Rispy here, and today is the day that the motor goes back in the car, hopefully. Nobody's really home right now to help me, so I'm kind of by myself, and all I have is some toe straps and a floor jack. So, alright. So basically with the toe straps, I'm not really sure how I did it, but I just it took me a solid hour, and you can see the drag marks in the grass here. Dragged it from my bedroom all the way over. So I'm not really quite sure how easy it's gonna be to jack this thing back up into here. I'll set up the GoPro and we'll see how long it takes me to do it, and pray, and hopefully I can get the motor back in here by tonight. I was gonna attach the intake manifold before I put everything back, but honestly the intake manifold stuck up so high it was going to be nearly impossible to get the motor back into the engine bay with the manifold on. So I'm going to go ahead and wait on that. So this is where I'm at, and hopefully I can jack up the motor into the engine bay, and then the car can be almost complete once again, which would be nice to have an engine in my car. Alright guys, so it's the next day. Sorry I haven't been filming a whole lot. I found an issue with my PCV valve, so I started tearing all that apart, and I'm gonna have to change out my PCV valve. It turns out that one of my vacuum lines going into the PCV valve actually crushed itself. So I was getting a crazy amount of pressure in my crankcase, which isn't good. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and change all that out. There's the PCV valve itself that I took out. This line is good. This is the one that had the crushed part of it. That went into the intake manifold. So before I move forward with it, I'm gonna go ahead and replace all that stuff. And actually, this little manifold here that goes into the PCV valve, I didn't worry about it a whole lot, but I just kind of degrease some of this stuff back here. This was all covered in oil and grease, so I just cleaned everything up and painted that little manifold there black. I didn't even use high heat paint, so it might bubble up, but it's a very small part of it. You can't really once everything's back together, you're not even really gonna see in there, so I just did my best. Transmission looks dope. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I got my turbo manifold in finally. It's a T3 flange turbo manifold, I believe. So sit something. Okay, it's gonna sit something like that. I was told not to get the. This is an eBay turbo manifold, but I was told that this one doesn't usually crack comparatively to the Ram Air ones. There's some Ram Air ones that go straight down, but they apparently have a tendency to crack, whereas these hopefully will work out for me. So if they don't, whatever, I'll get a new one and I'll weld in some reinforcements, but I'm just going to go ahead and try it for now. I still need to order the turbo itself, but it is starting to really come along. I'm pretty stoked. Alright, so the turbo manifold is now installed. I still have to finish up with my PCV stuff, but everything else looks pretty good. Intake manifold is installed and everything, and most likely the way this turbo setup is going to be, most likely the intake is going to be here somewhere, and then the exhaust is going to run from here down through the middle. That's my plan anyways. I don't know how that's exactly gonna work, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits today. We got some rain coming in. It's starting to rain a little bit. I wanted to take out the oil pan and put a bung in it for the return line for the turbo, but I think I made a pretty decent amount of progress. Engine is back in. The car is one piece again, kinda. Obviously things are pretty messy. There's wires everywhere. I started connecting some stuff, but there's a lot. Alright, so I'm uploading a bunch of the videos to make the YouTube video right now, and I don't know why, but for some reason, all the GoPro footage I had of me putting the engine by myself into the car, they're just gone. So I'm a little pissed, but it's all good. You know, I'm just gonna give you what I got, and hopefully the next video is better. I need to invest in a goddamn camera, but yeah. So that's the end of today's video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and see you next time.